Welcome to the Liberty and Democracy Podcast. Are you a passionate believer in liberty and democracy? Are you concerned about the growing infiltration of Marxist and socialist ideology in our politics, media, and culture? This podcast was created by a citizen of the United States who was born and raised in Romania, a socialist country in Eastern Europe, during the 1970s and 1980s. As more and more members of our youth pivot towards Marxism, socialism, and communism in the United States of America and beyond, now, more than ever, it is important to focus on liberty and democracy, instead of the alluring Marxist and socialist trends which, as history repeatedly has shown, lead to repressive authoritarian regimes. Marxism does not lead to utopia either in the United States of America, or anywhere else in the world. Let us question governments, policies, and manufactured social progressivism. Let us go back to the times when it was okay for us to agree to disagree.
Welcome to the Liberty and Democracy Podcast. For the next few months, our podcast episodes published on Wednesdays will include excerpts from Maestro Cercia's ebook, Comparing and Contrasting the Republican, Democrat, and Libertarian Political Parties in the United States of America, to help you understand further the ideas behind the politics in the USA. Are you ready? Let's begin.
Thank you for joining today's Liberty and Democracy podcast. We will now listen to our ebook titled Comparing and Contrasting the Republican, Democrat, and Libertarian Political Parties in the United States of America. In today's episode, we will listen to Chapter 5, Similarities Between Political Parties, including subchapters Advocacy for Foreign Policy Engagement, as well as Commitment to Constitutional Governance. You are welcome to interact with our artificial intelligence chatbot and read the ebook online via the ebook page at www.sersea.com. Are you ready? Let's begin. Advocacy for Foreign Policy Engagement. The Republican Party, known for its historical emphasis on national security and defense, places a high priority on establishing a robust presence in the global arena. Republicans argue that a proactive foreign policy, achieved through military strength and strategic alliances, safeguards the United States and advances its values worldwide. They stress the importance of promoting democracy and human rights, asserting that American power ought to be used to disseminate freedom and liberty. Nevertheless, critics contend that Republican foreign policy frequently leads to military intervention and has the potential to encroach upon the sovereignty of other nations. Conversely, the Democratic Party adopts a more nuanced approach to foreign policy engagement. Democrats believe in multilateralism and international cooperation, preferring diplomatic resolutions and alliances over the use of military force. They endeavor to restore America's standing abroad by strengthening ties with global organizations such as the United Nations. Democrats place diplomacy at the fore, advocating for negotiation and dialogue as means to resolve conflicts and tackle global challenges. Despite the peaceful and collaborative nature of this approach, critics argue that it may result in a lack of decisive action when confronting international threats. As a libertarian, my perspective on foreign policy engagement stems from an unwavering commitment to individual liberty and limited government intervention. Libertarians prioritize non-intervention and strict adherence to constitutional principles. They argue that the United States should avoid unnecessary military entanglements and concentrate on safeguarding its borders and citizens. Libertarians champion free trade and voluntary cooperation with other nations, firm in the belief that economic interdependence fosters peace and prosperity. Detractors often claim that this approach may render the United States more vulnerable to external threats, as it prioritizes non-intervention over proactive engagement. While all three political parties acknowledge the significance of foreign policy engagement, their viewpoints differ due to distinct ideological perspectives in relation to international relations. Republicans tend to prioritize military strength and proactive involvement, whereas Democrats lean towards diplomacy and multilateralism. Libertarians, on the other hand, advocate for a limited role in global affairs and emphasize non-interventionism. It is crucial for citizens and residents of the United States to thoroughly comprehend the foreign policy stances of the Republican, Democratic, and Libertarian political parties. By examining their similarities and disparities in this area, individuals can make well-informed decisions and contribute to the ongoing national discourse on foreign policy. Through a deeper understanding of these perspectives, we can shape a cohesive and effective approach to international relations that aligns with the values and interests of the American people. Commitment to constitutional governance. The Republican Party professes a firm dedication to constitutional governance, championing the preservation of long-standing values and minimal government intervention. They frequently highlight the significance of a stringent interpretation of the Constitution and advocate for the safeguarding of individual rights, particularly the right to bear arms. However, criticisms have been directed towards certain Republicans in recent times for selectively endorsing specific aspects of the Constitution, especially when it pertains to matters such as privacy and civil liberties. Consequently, this has resulted in an element of inconsistency in their commitment to constitutional governance. Conversely, the Democratic Party places great importance on social justice and equality, advocating for a broader role of government in tackling social issues. While they also acknowledge the significance of the Constitution, Democrats generally interpret it in a manner that permits greater adaptability and flexibility to cater to the evolving needs of society. Nevertheless, detractors argue that this approach sometimes leads to policies that infringe upon individual liberties and expand the government's authority beyond its intended boundaries. As a libertarian, my party maintains an unwavering dedication to constitutional governance. We firmly believe that the Constitution presents a clear framework for limited government and the safeguarding of individual rights. Libertarians advocate for a strict adherence to the Constitution, actively pushing for the curtailment of governmental power and the removal of unnecessary regulations that encroach upon personal freedoms. We stand by the principle of self-ownership and the freedom to lead our lives according to our individual choices, so long as we do not cause harm to others. This unyielding commitment to individual liberty forms the foundation of our party's ideology and serves as a distinguishing factor from the other two major parties. While there may be similarities and differences in the dedication to constitutional governance among the Republican, Democrat, and Libertarian parties, it is evident that the Libertarian Party places the greatest emphasis on the principles of limited government and individual liberty as stated in the Constitution. Our unwavering allegiance to constitutional governance distinguishes us from the other two parties, as we firmly believe that a strict adherence to the Constitution is imperative for the preservation of a society that is both free and prosperous.
Thank you for listening to today's episode of the Liberty and Democracy Podcast. We hope you found today's content interesting, intriguing, and useful. You're invited to join us again, as our podcast episodes are now published every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. In the meanwhile, don't forget to stop by our website at www.libertarian.center or our Liberty and Democracy YouTube channel at bit.ly/democracyvideos.